What's going on, Thunder fans? We are back for another week of Thunder Things.
And we're back!
And we're black! You like that? I'm Zach.
I'm Craig.
And we got things about the Thunder with which we are going to talk about.
Stuff,
things.
Stuff and
What
things.
What if we were Thunder Stuffs with that? See, that doesn't sound as good. And it totally ruins our logo with the whole...
Just stuff.
Totally ruins the logo with the Stranger Things vibe. But
we could rebrand.
we could totally rebrand.
No big deal.
Don't tell me that right now in the early stages of season 2. So anyways, we're here, and I can't tell if we're lagging or not.
Probably.
On the preview side of things, it looks like we are, but on that side of things, it looks like we're not. Whether or not you were listening on Crossover Radio with a purpose, or you were watching on Facebook Live, or you were watching on some other avenue at some other later point after the fact, then
Nice.
we welcome you, we appreciate you, and I'm gonna try to get this up on the old Facebooks and the old Twitters to try to get some people joining in, jumping in, chatting with us. It's been an eventful couple of weeks. Craig, you've not been with me. I was by my lonesome.
I'm sorry.
And it's okay. I did a solo show, and I felt like it was okay. It was on the shorter end, which was okay.
I would never do it by myself.
I kept it compact, and I kept it to the point. And I'm hoping that people enjoyed it. If they didn't, well, you know what? Forget them.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. We need all the viewers we can get at this point, right? For real, though. What do you want to talk about tonight, man?
Let's talk about these wins.
Let's talk
4 in
about
a
these
row.
wins. Started off 0-4. Thunder now sitting at 4-4. You didn't get to talk about any of it. Last time you were on, we were a losing team. Just a bunch of losers.
Yeah, what was it? Oh, and...
I can't even remember what we were at that point. I think 0-3.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 0-2.
It's been that long.
We were 0-2, yeah. Because it's been 2 weeks since you were on. We were 0-2. But no worries, because now we are 4-4. Looking to go to 500 tonight. We will actually get to... We'll get to that game.
Above 500.
Yeah.
You mean?
Did I say 500?
Yeah.
We're at 500. Which, by the way, is not the end goal.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. We're trying to get to... trying to get to... I don't know. 78-4. I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, let's just run the table, man.
Obviously, the 82-0 season was out real quick. But that's all right.
For shame.
I'm pretty happy with where we're sitting right now. I don't know about you, but if I take a look at these last 4 games, I think not only have we started winning, we've started getting better over the course of those 4 games. So,
yeah.
Last week, I'll just throw this out there. Last week I talked about the Suns win, so I don't really want to spend too much time on that. We went to the Clippers game on Tuesday of last week. So, while I get some stuff out on Twitter, why don't you talk about that?
We had a talk at halftime, and I was basically done. You remember that? As we walked out of our seats to go get some the concession stands.
We were down by...
Let's see, it was 67
We were down by 13.
Yeah, 67 to 54. But it seemed a lot worse than just 13 points.
Just because we looked like duty.
Yeah, and...
As one of my students would say, that's doo-doo.
I was over it.
Ugly.
I was all the way over it. Didn't even really want to be there. And I told you I was tired of watching an uninspired team with no purpose. I mean, that's basically what they were. Just out there going through the motions.
I mean, you ain't wrong.
And then 39-10 happens in the third quarter. And all of a sudden, I'm like, yo, we're winning the finals.
By the way, the largest positive margin for an Oklahoma City Thunder team in a single quarter in franchise history. We're in our 11th season, and never has a Thunder team outscored an opponent in a single quarter by as much as we did against the Clippers in that third quarter. That's dope.
It was so long ago, I don't really remember what happened. It just kind of seems like everything happened all at once. Like everything was going...
You want the third quarter breakdown?
Yeah, let's pull it up.
Let me do this real quick. Okay. Here's how it went down. Paul George went 3 of 6 for 11 points. Jeremy Grant went 3 of 4 for 8 points. Oh, I forgot to point out with Paul George. He had 7 rebounds and 3 assists to go along with that. Russ went a perfect 3 for 3, including 1 for 1 from 3 for 7 points, and he had 4 assists. Steven Adams chimed in with 2 of 4 for 6 points. Patterson hit his 1 shot for a 3-pointer. Ferguson hit his 1 shot for 2 points. Schroeder hit his 1 shot for 2 points. We shot 70% from the field, 14 of 20, and we shot 5 of 8 from the 3 for 62.5. Missed 5 free throws. That was the ugly spot.
Wow.
But the big thing was we held the Clippers to 5 of 20 from the field and 0 of 5 from 3. Can I say defense leads to offense one more time?
Yeah, I mean,
I've been screaming
everyone
this
knows
for
that
I
at
don't know
this
how
point.
long, but the Thunder is. I said this last week when I was on by myself. This is not a shooting team. We got to quit trying to be what other teams are. Do we want to try to bring a shooter in at some point? I pray to God, yes. I hope
Hopefully.
so. But while we're working with what we've got, we have to focus on what we're good at, and that's defense. The defense leads to transition, to offense, to points, to winning games.
I imagine Billy Donovan's halftime speech went something like this. If you guys want me to have a job tomorrow, I need you guys to go out there and start playing some basketball. Because
that's the truth.
It was a completely different attitude in the second half. It was the team that we know that Oklahoma City is capable of being. Real fun to watch. And slurping on your Oklahoma State coffee mug there.
Yeah. Go Pokes.
And
what do you got over there, Craig?
it's a medical center cup. But it's an OU Medical Center cup.
So there you go.
So close enough.
We'll talk about. I think we're going to end our show with a little Bedlam talk, but not trash talk because I've got nothing good to say about Oklahoma State. But we'll get to that.
Anyways, really good win against the Clippers.
Solid win. That was Tuesday night. Then on Thursday night, went to Charlotte. Did you get to catch any of this game, by the way? I know you were working. It was Thursday night, if that helps refresh the memories.
No, I watched a little bit of it.
I know you saw Russ's sham god move there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you my perspective. Here's what happened. I was at a school function, and I totally had the game pulled up on YouTube TV on my phone, and I was watching. By the way, if you don't have YouTube TV, it's the best TV service there is out there, in my opinion.
True.
It's cheap, and it gets the job done, and I can't ask for
Are
anything
you getting
more.
paid for this?
I should be. I would listen. First off, they should have referral bonuses because I'm literally telling everybody I'm in the streets telling people about YouTube TV, and we should definitely have a sponsorship from them because of what I'm putting out there. But so I was watching the game. We went down by, let me see, we were down by 19 in the third quarter. Started off, we were down by 4 at the half.
Yo, I don't even think I realized that.
Down by 4 at the half, close game. The Hornets come out and they go on like a 13-0 run to start the second half. And what does Billy Donovan not do? Go ahead and guess.
Call a timeout.
He does not call a timeout until crap has hit the fan hard. And it's just awful. I was so disgusted. I was so disappointed. I couldn't believe that he waited so long. And I'm thinking, well, here we go. We're about to lose another game, which we shouldn't be losing. Now, listen, the Hornets are a decent team. I'm a big fan of Kemba Walker. He actually helped me win a tournament bracket back in the day when he was at UConn.
Yeah.
I won a little money off that just because I picked them, and I picked them because of him. That was it. Okay, so
kind of feel bad for him, by the way.
I feel like he's stuck in a bad spot.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. But the Thunder quickly go down by 19 in the third quarter, and I'm thinking this is some kind of joke. Now, as always, I don't ever panic when Russell Westbrook is on a team. If he's healthy and he's playing in a game, I'm not going to panic. Am I upset? Am I disappointed? Of course I am. So I wasn't panicking. And, of course, by the end of the third quarter, the Thunder had pulled back. They had trimmed it down to 4 again, and they come out hot in the fourth, take the lead, and got up big, I believe. Let me see. I guess not big. But they had taken the lead and kind of taken over in the fourth and then finished out strong, which was awesome considering how terribly they had played earlier. What it came down to was Russell Westbrook played fairly well, shot 50% from the field, 29 points. But the key to the game was Alex Abrinas. He shot a ridiculous 5 of 10 from 3, and he started off like 4 of 4. Kind of lost it there at the end. Maybe it was 3 of 3. But he had a career-high 25 points, played really well.
Definitely would have lost this game without him.
Yeah, for sure.
I will say, although Paul George was 4 of 20,
He did not shoot well at all.
I will say 0 of 10 from 3. You got to appreciate that he still had 4 steals and 3 blocks. I mean,
if you can't get it done on the offensive end, you better make up for it on defense.
And so
he's
many
kind
guys,
of been that guy.
So many guys let the way they're playing on offense affect their defense, and so it's, nice to have a guy like that who can still get it done.
We have to have that. And another couple numbers in here that I'm seeing. Dennis Schroeder didn't shoot incredibly well, but 7 for 15 isn't bad for him. 21 points from him. That was incredibly crucial. Jeremy Grant, he didn't play super well, but still chimed in with 10 points, 6 rebounds. My boy Hami chipping in with 6 points. I'm pretty happy about that. I'm really excited about.
I like the way he's been playing. Yeah,
he's been fairly consistent. He only played 10 minutes in that game. I'd like to see him getting some more minutes. I think they're still trying to figure some things out, and that's just kind of the nature of it.
I feel like you know what you're going to get with him. I like that.
The big disappointment for me is seeing Steven Adams going 1 for 5. Too many misses. Too few shots. That's what I'm seeing from him. We move on to Washington, which played the Wizards the very next night on Friday night. By far the best win of the season. And I'll be honest, one of the best wins the Thunder has had in a very, very long time. I think something that's super necessary for this team is to not just beat the bad teams, but to blow them out. And right now, Washington is a bad team. Scott Brooks is on the brink of getting fired.
Yeah.
Somebody, was it you that said for the second time in history the Thunder is going to get Scott Brooks fired?
No. Someone tweeted at that to me, and I responded with the "I don't care" or something.
I thought that was pretty funny because I feel like that might be somewhat accurate. I don't know what the deal is with the Wizards. I think a lot of that has to do with some locker room stuff.
Yeah.
And so be it. The Thunder definitely benefited from it. Outscored them 44-20 in the second quarter. Another huge scoring opportunity. I saw this stat. If I could, let me open up Twitter real quick and I can hop over to it. Since October 27th, so we've played, I don't know how many games since then. I think that was starting with the Suns game. So in the 4-game winning streak, basically, I think the Thunder is 3rd in points per game. We were not dead last. We were like 28-29 to start the season. And we've moved up. Now we're around 16, I think. But since the 27th, after take away the 4 losses, which unfortunately we can't do in the real world, but take those away, we're 3rd in points per game, and the defense is playing outstanding for the most part. And I feel like the team's starting to turn some things around.
Sorry, I just got offered more tickets.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
Of course we can't go tonight.
Anyways.
Go figure.
That's why I was distracted.
I got you.
I was reading on these messages.
We had 5 dudes in double digit scoring. We had 5 other guys with at least 7 points. All around, everybody, really pretty much everybody played very well. Alex Abrinas.
Free throw shooting was a lot better.
Yeah, Alex Abrinas did not shoot super well coming off that hot game, but he was a team high, real plus-minus, plus 27. The next closest was Patrick Patterson at plus 19. So while he was on the floor, he put in good minutes. I feel like Alex Abrinas' defense is severely underrated right now. He has improved so much, and I think that's huge for this team, especially with the absence of Andre Robertson.
That's what's speaking of Andre Robertson, so many people keep forgetting about him. Are we gonna bring this up anywhere in here?
It's not on. It's not on there, but we can definitely.
Someone mentioned that. Like I sent out a tweet the other night when I was during this game actually, where I was just throwing out a couple things when I could, and I said the Thunder have a complete team. You don't have to worry about the bench like you used to. And I was like, it's nice to see a complete team. And someone tweeted and said, "Hey, Dre's still coming too." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like,
so let's talk about.
I feel bad because I completely forgot about him.
Let's talk about the starting lineup as is. You didn't get to talk about last week with Jeremy Grant being reinserted. A little bit of an adjustment period. Still lost those first 2 games with him, but obviously 4-game winning streak. In that time, I feel like he's played really well. Mm-hmm. And not just him. I talked about this last week as well. Patrick Patterson has been solid off the bench. It's like they're both in their positions where they need to be, and it's benefiting not just themselves, but it's benefiting the team. And that's exactly what. Here's the thing. I was talking about this earlier today with another basketball coach at school. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter who starts. a lot of times that has to do with ego. It matters who finishes games.
Right.
And not even just that. It matters where players are and they're fitting in their spots. So I'm looking at Jeremy Grant, and he's had some solid games since he's moved into the starting lineup. Overall, he's scoring at a much better rate. His first 3 games of the season, he shot below 30%. His worst game since then was the last loss, 40%. And since then, he's had 2 games where he shot 70% or better. The last one in Washington was his best one. Shot 9 of 11. He had 22 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. A complete game.
And 2 of 3 from beyond the arc.
Yes.
Yeah.
If he can turn into a consistent three-point shooter, heck yes.
Yeah.
The Thunder will be so dangerous.
It can go back and forth on who should be starting between Patterson and Grant. But like you said, it just matters on who's more comfortable in what position. And I think that Billy Donovan is onto something with Jeremy Grant in the starting lineup. Patrick Patterson seems to be more comfortable coming off the bench. He, like you said the other day during the game, he accepted that role. He's there for it. He supports Jeremy Grant, and I think this move is all around, obviously based on the record, has been beneficial for the Thunder.
Yeah, and I go and I look at Patrick Patterson's numbers, and he has played so much better. He had a rough game against Charlotte. He only played 7 minutes, but his other games, he's played pretty well at least. Didn't play super well against Washington. He was 2 for 5 from 3, but 2 for 8 from the field. But we saw against Boston and then Phoenix, he started hitting some shots. The Clippers started hitting some shots. Those kinds of things. He's not a guy that we're going to expect against, like Phoenix, he had 17 points. We're not going to get that every single night from him. But he's the kind of guy that if he can put in 6 to 8 points coming off the bench, give me that every single night, and he's earning his money for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm happy about that. So moving on, we mentioned the bench. You're talking about complete roster. Well, what are you thinking about the bench right now?
I think Schroeder is making the difference. But we knew that coming into the season. We talked about it over and over again. I mean, he's basically a starting point guard, and at the beginning we saw him trying to do way too much. But to be fair, Russell Westbrook was out. He was trying to step into that role. But now that we've seen him kind of slow things down, and even at times he still has the tendency to get a little carried away. But he's really leading the pace out there, and I like what Nerlens Noel is bringing to the table. Blocking shots, athletic around the rim.
I want to see him.
Did he have the really good pick and roll the other night, or was that?
You'd have to specify because I'm going to say yes at some point. He and Schroeder have worked really well together. He and Russ have worked really well together. I'd like to see him get some more minutes. He hasn't played he's only averaging 14 and a half minutes right now, and I'd like to see some more out of that.
We did talk about that though when we were talking about who's going to have how many minutes this season. Right. We talked about, when you got a guy like Steven Adams who's going to be getting his minutes,
he's kind of hard. Second on the team with 33, so it is kind of hard. I mean, that honestly, when you think about 48 minutes of a ball game, they're not going to be on the court together. You got 33 for Steve-O, 15 for Nerlens, so that's basically perfect.
But what I like is that he's made an impact during those minutes, and that is a huge difference.
I agree. He's averaging 7.5 minutes. He's shooting 71% from the field, which is just ridiculous. 6 rebounds. You can't ask for more from the guy. He's staying on the positive plus minus side. What is kind of disappointing for me is I haven't got to see near as much of TLC, Luwawu Cabarro. I'd love to see some of him. Dude's only averaging 1.6 minutes. He's only been in for like a couple of trash minutes.
We talked about this, and I feel like I was more on the side of him not receiving very many minutes, and you were.
I think my thing though is we've seen Terence Ferguson averaging 20. He's starting, and now his defense has been solid, and I'll give him. He's seen some improvement, but still, I'd like to see. I feel like he and even maybe Abdul Nader, maybe they can offer some of the shooting that we need. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Give the guy in some of these moments, especially the garbage time where we're destroying the other team, throw these guys in there and see what they can do.
Yeah, I feel like Billy's got his guys that he's rolling with.
I agree.
And that's what we wanted to see. That we didn't want to see changes in lineups like we did all season long. I like what we've seen. I mean, do you think Diallo having him playing as many minutes as he is taken away from some of these guys like TLC and Nader maybe?
Well, he's only averaging 14, and really I feel like he needs more. Now, as far as who you take those away from, I'm not really sure because you start looking at minutes per game.
I'm not saying taking minutes away from him. I mean, I feel you. Give him some more if you can, but there's just only so many minutes to go around.
And I think that's the thing. You need to have your best players on the court, but whenever I'm looking at some statistics, he's tied for third on the team with the best plus-minus. You know who he's tied with? Steven Adams.
Wow.
You know who he's above? Paul George.
Paul George.
Obviously has to do with who he's playing with.
Right.
But at the same time, listen, I look at moments where there's a lull in the game. Put the dude in there, and he brings some energy.
Yeah.
Let him see what he can do. Sure. I love to see a rookie that he's fighting for a role. He's fighting for not a contract this year because he's on a rookie contract, but he's the kind of guy that, listen, you have not heard me say this in 5-6 years. He's the kind of guy who I could legitimately see taking Andre Robertson's starting role. Not now, probably not next year, but maybe eventually. Yeah. And especially now with Dre dealing with the injury, we don't even know what he's going to look like when he comes back. But whatever it is, I really want to see. Listen, we've got to keep developing players. You think of, we drafted Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, Serge Ibaka, James Harden. Those 4 guys right there alone, they developed into solid 3 MVPs, and Serge Ibaka is still a dude doing some solid things in the NBA. A lot of that, were they great players coming in? Of course they were. They were drafted in the NBA, and they were early round picks, and I get that. But at the same time, a big part of who they are now is because of player development.
Right.
And we have to be able to develop these young guys. I look at guys like Perry Jones III and Jeremy Lamb. They were wasted. I thought they had a lot of talent, but they didn't ever do anything. I blame a lot of that on development from the coaches. And at this point, we can't afford to waste young talent. We've relied so much on young talent in the past years that we've got to keep developing players and turn them into something that's going to be able to benefit us in the future. Do we need to go all in for this right now? Of course we do. We've got Russell Westbrook and Paul George in their primes. We can't waste those years. We've got Steven Adams coming into his own. We can't waste that. But we got to think ahead, too. So keep developing players because we want to win long-term as well.
Heard that?
So that's where I'm standing with that. And as you know, coming up is one of my personal favorite segments on our show, Point Counterpoint. And on this week's topic, actually, hold on.
Have you put any thought into this?
I mean, not really.
Okay, cool. Because me neither.
Man,
I never really do.
We just pick the topic and then we read it.
That's how roll with it.
That's how this goes. How much time do we say? 45 seconds?
45 seconds.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah. Do I have to go first?
Yes. Okay, this is how this works. Point, counterpoint. Every single week, we come up with a topic. We throw it out there. 45 seconds each. We argue it. You guys pick the winner.
Wait, how come I always have to go
I'll go first. I don't care.
Oh, yeah,
you ready?
Go first.
All right.
Yeah.
Ready, go. All right, here's the deal. Is Billy Donovan, is his job safe? I'm going to say yes for now. Obviously, for me, the mark was 15 games. We're sitting at 4-4. I said at 15 games, we need to be minimum 8-7. I'm looking at the upcoming 8-game schedule, 7-game schedule, and I'm seeing 5-2 out of those games, which would put us right at 9-6, a little bit better than 8-7. I'd like to see us ideally go 6-1 through those, but I'm trying to be realistic here. So whatever that means, for now, I say his job's safe. I think it's going to take something pretty drastic for him to get fired. I think he might have been on the borderline had we lost another couple more games. I don't know, but right now, I think he's good. All right, ready, go.
Well, I mean, if we're talking right now, he's definitely safe. He's got more of a cushion than he did before. But I'm talking long term here. I'm not ready to say that his job is safe. I feel like the Thunder still need to be harsh on him. I don't feel like even 8-7 is really acceptable for this team. Like you said, I mean, at 0-4, 8-7 seemed fantastic. But now that you're 4-4, I think you need to be, sitting better than that. And so I'm thinking the Thunder organization is still pretty tough on them, and that this team has to pull off a couple more wins here in the next few weeks in order for him to secure his job. But I will say if we get to that 15-20 game mark and the Thunder's record is acceptable, then his job is safe.
All right. So that's it. Point, counterpoint. Is Billy Donovan's job safe? You guys let us know what you think. Now that segment's over, let's talk a little bit more about it. Looking at these next, how many did I say? 7 games? Yeah,
sure.
7 games. We've got, I'm going to pull up the old calendar. We've got the Pelicans tonight. We've got the Cavs in Cleveland on Wednesday. Tough road game.
Tough one.
According to Tristan Thompson, by the way, did you hear what he said?
I didn't.
He put this out there to like the Celtics and the Raptors. The Cavs are still the team to beat in the East. I think he meant the Cavs are still the team getting beat by everybody in the East because
I'm just trying to process that statement.
Listen, when Tristan Thompson talks half the time, I'm just thinking, what
was he trolling?
What do you?
No, I'm being serious.
No,
was he trying to be funny?
This is just no. He's not a smart man. He's not a smart man. Of course, when you date a Kardashian, I don't know. Anyways,
I mean,
he's not a smart man. Okay, so in Cleveland on Wednesday, Thursday we play the Rockets at home. That's going to be a big one in my mind. We play the Mavericks in Dallas.
Is James Harden going to be playing?
I would say probably. Okay. Saturday in Dallas at the Mavericks. Next Monday, right after next week's show, we host the Suns again. Then next Wednesday, we play the Knicks at home. Like next Wednesday, like a week from Wednesday. A week from Saturday, we play the Suns again in Phoenix. And then we play the Kings in Sacramento, who we've lost to already in Sacramento.
No, that was
at home.
We were at that game.
And I think that's the next 8 games. But regardless, I'm looking at these teams, and here's the thing. I think the Pelicans are a playoff team, probably. If Anthony Davis plays tonight, which I'm sure they've probably already announced it by now, we should look into that before we keep talking about it. I definitely think he's probably playing tonight. He played, I can't remember, 2 nights ago, whenever it was. Anyways, so I feel like that could be a tough one, and the Rockets on Thursday could be a tough one. But these other 5 games over the next 7, they should be easy wins. What do you think?
Let me tell you what I'm worried about. I'm worried about, obviously, the Rockets. They haven't been playing well. I don't know what are they, like 2 and 3? Do they have 3 wins now? Maybe, I don't know. They're not great at all. Yeah. But they're still a very talented team.
And Harden is back, so I'm pretty sure he's back.
And they're definitely going to show up to play the Thunder. There's no doubt about it. You know, with Melo being on the team, there's already the rivalry between Oklahoma City and Houston. So that game scares me a little bit. And also, playing the same team over and over again within a short span of time, it's really hard.
That's
and
fair.
So the Suns, that does worry me a little bit.
But it is hard for them as well.
Correct. You're right. But my coach in high school always said the hardest thing to do in sports is to beat a team multiple times in a row. So if the Thunder come out and get another win, I would definitely be on the lookout to be taking the L in the next one. Not that that's what's going to happen, but it could. The Thunder have to be careful. I definitely agree with you with the amount of wins over these 8 games. Super easy schedule in my opinion. I don't see anything that, I'm like, oh, that's a definite loss. The Thunder have the ability to beat all of these teams. So.
I agree.
And if that's the case, then we're going to have a lot of fun on our show in the coming weeks.
If we go 7-0 over these next few games to put us on an 11-game win streak, I don't know if we thought that, or I don't know if we had a win streak of double digits last season.
No, I don't think so.
I can't remember.
It was rough.
It might have been like 8 was the most. So that would put us in a solid position. So overall, I feel like because of those things alone, Billy Donovan's going to be safe for a while. And I think that's kind of my point there. So overall, let's answer this question. Are things fixed from the first 4 games? That's kind of a broad question, so we can break that down a little bit. But what do you think?
From watching this team over the course of the last 10 years now, I've learned that there are different stages to a season, different problems coming up in here and there,
Always.
And I feel like for now, the issues that at hand, the Thunder have fixed those things. However, I do know more things are going to develop as the season goes on, and it's going to be really interesting to see if the Thunder have the ability to turn those things around again. But for now, yeah, I think we literally everything. The free throw shooting has improved, especially in the last game. The amount of threes taken have decreased. Hands are moving on defense. People are flying around, which is...
I'm hearing a lot of issues that the Thunder were struggling with, and now they're figuring things out.
Right.
3-point shooting.
Yeah.
I've got it pulled up right now. Are you ready for this? Team stats. Okay. As far as 3-point shooting goes, we are ranked, if it'll load, 29th in the league. Sorry, no. We are dead last in the league.
Nice.
Okay. Field goal percentage. We are We've moved up to 21st in the league.
Hey!
We were dead last
Yeah,
in that one also.
Sure.
Free throw percentage, we are 29th in the league. Slowly on the rise. Now, that's especially disappointing considering that we are 9th in the league in free throws attempted. Okay? We should not be so low in percentage when we're shooting such a high volume. That cannot happen.
Mm-hmm.
And the teams that have shot more free throws than us, all 8 teams have played at least 9 games. 4 of those teams have played at least 10 games. That's pathetic. We're the highest volume shooting team for 8 games for sure. And if I look at, and here's my point there with that, the more free throws you shoot, the better you should get. That's just common sense. If your shot's off, what do? You get in the gym and you put up shots. So I'm thinking the more we shoot, the better we should get. But in the words of Mike Gundy,
right,
we've got to get better. And sooner than later,
yeah.
Russell Westbrook has got to lead that charge. I can't. He was, last time I checked, if I can pull his, I can't. I got too many computers and too many stats up over here.
I'm starting to get worried about him.
Russell?
Yes.
Just because.
Not
why?
in general, but with free throws.
He's shooting 63.6% right now.
We've talked so long about he's going to figure it out. He's going to figure it out. You know,
he had moments last season where he did, but it's bad right now. And let me look at his game logs because I feel like maybe it's improved. And obviously, and we talked, and we weren't the only ones that talked about this. Other people talked about that. Once he gets his legs underneath him, he'll do better, and he has. He went from 45.5% and 60% in his first 2 games to where he shot at least 70% every game since. And he's gradually improved. Mm-hmm. Last game, he was 3 for 4, 75%. Maybe we'll see an 80% game here and there coming up.
I feel like he needs to be taking more than 4. But
he's only 2 games has he shot fewer than 7. So, and that was one of them. Part of that was because he only played 26 minutes. So I ain't too mad about it. But free throw shooting, 3-point. Here's the thing. We talk about this, the coaching staff that I'm a part of. You know, I'm an assistant coach now, high school basketball. We talk to our players. We got guys that love to put up shots. They love to shoot threes, but they can't make free throws. Listen, every basketball player ever should be able to shoot free throws. If you're shooting threes, but you're not making your free throws, you're doing something wrong. Because you got to make the easy shots before you can make the hard ones. You know what I'm saying? A free throw shot should be the easiest shot in basketball, in my opinion. Easier than a fast break layup where you've got the pressure of a guy chasing you down. Easier, you get where I'm going with this? You don't have anybody guarding you. You can take your time. You can set up, and it's the same thing every single time. We talked about this last year. How important is repetition in sports? It's consistency. Yeah. Free throws should be a done deal. And whenever I'm looking at the best shooters in the entire NBA, they're shooting high percentage of free throws. Go look at Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, these dudes that shoot lights out. Yeah. Kevin Durant. Okay, the Warriors. Okay,
right.
Whenever you've got guys that are shooting ridiculous percentages from beyond the arc, it starts with the free throw line. Russell Westbrook's not a great shooter. He's mediocre at best. He's better whenever he's driving to the basket, that kind of thing. And obviously he's going to get fouled. He's got to be able to knock down free throws. If he can knock down free throws, I think that'll give the rest of the team the confidence to make theirs.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, as far as that goes, I feel like other areas they're doing fairly well. I ain't mad at too many other stats outside of shooting. I'm looking at turnovers, and they're a little higher than I would like them to be. Still tied for 13th in the league. That's solid compared to where we've been. Seen some solid improvement there. I would like to see higher assist numbers. It's kind of hard when the ball is in Russell Westbrook's hands so much, and he's second in the NBA in assists. Dennis Schroeder's doing a solid job at that.
We had like 34 last game?
Gosh, I think it was 36. It was some stupid number. More of that, please. That again. Yes, yeah, more of that, please. But I believe we're leading the league in steals per game with 11.3, and I don't know if you remember this or not, but one of my preseason bold predictions was that we would average double-digit steals after leading the league a season ago. Averaging 6 blocks a game, which is top 10. I mean, this team is solid.
Yeah. This is the team they're playing now like we thought that they would.
If you take away those first 4 games of the season.
If only you could.
Yeah. Then I feel like we've got a team that we can work with. But unfortunately you can't, and it's sad because The ones that really bother me are the loss to the Clippers that we definitely should have won. The loss to the Kings. That I'm moving on. That one, and then the letting go of the giant lead against the Celtics. Listen, I didn't expect to beat the Warriors. I didn't. No Russell Westbrook, reigning champs. They're getting their rings. I didn't expect it. We played outstanding.
That might have been the worst thing that could have happened, honestly.
Because it gave us a false confidence that this team is legit, and then they just
maybe gave them a false confidence too.
They wet the bed over the next 3 games, and it was awful. Now I think things are going to get figured out. I think they're going to continue to figure things out, and I'm okay with that. Moving on. Specifically, Russell Westbrook. You pointed this out. This is your point, so I'm going to let you start off.
What was it? In the first 2 games he played, he took 11 threes. And then over the 4 wins, he took a total of 7. And to me, we talk about poor shooting. It starts with Russ, honestly. We saw him in that very first game just jack up all kinds of stuff, and it wasn't hitting, just keep shooting. And to be fair, that has bailed out this team many a times, him just continuing to shoot.
You know how many threes he's made all season?
5? 3? 2.
He's made 2.
Wow.
He is 2 of 18. That's not good.
Bad. But when you have guys like Paul George on this team now, who also has not been shooting well, but when you have other guys around you...
Did you hear about his issue he's been dealing with?
No.
I talked about this last week on the show. He's been dealing with a nerve issue in his foot, and it's called dead foot. It literally, a nerve gets pinched, and his foot, it's like it's asleep all the time. He can't feel it. And apparently he's been dealing with this since the second preseason game against the Hawks. And
is there no fix for it?
I think it's just something he kind of has to play through. But he said, there ain't nothing going to sideline me. That's what he said. And so I'm encouraged that he shot better last game. I think it was last game.
It was.
And he is improving. Okay, but you're right. He's shooting under 40% from the field, under 33% from 3. We can't have that. Our best 3-point shooter that actually plays in the game regularly is Alex Abrinas, and he's shooting 35%, which is not great.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to pick it up. Paul George's going to have to pick it up.
But a big thing I noticed is with Russ taking better shots, I feel like the rest of the team is taking better shots. Kind of like you said, if Russ starts making his free throws, everybody else is going to start making their free throws. Russ
he's the leader. They follow him. Whatever he does, they're gonna repeat.
He's been taking less shots from beyond the arc, and then all of a sudden you see guys like Jeremy Grant go 2 of 3 from beyond the arc, which is perfect. He doesn't need to be taking any more than 3 a game. That's perfect for him.
Right.
But if he's like, you see Russ over here jacking up 10, 11 shots per game from out there,
right.
Then what are you gonna do? So I really like that. Like I said, things are, in my opinion, heading in the right direction. They're quote unquote fixed or whatever for now.
Not perma-fixed.
Right. But, got to be feeling good with where you're at for sure.
I think there's definitely more room for improvement moving forward, but I'm happy with the direction at the very least
no doubt.
that the Thunder's going. Last thing on Russell Westbrook, I don't know if you saw the story from News OK about Russell Westbrook as far as being a teammate. The other night after one of the tough losses, Russell Westbrook called Terence Ferguson, and he said, "Where you at?" And T. Ferg said, "I'm at the gym about to put up some shots." This is immediately after a loss. Russ said, "I'll be there in 20 minutes. See you then." Hangs up, shows up. This is after a loss, mind you. Russell Westbrook's a dad. He's a husband. He's got a life. He's probably hungry. Dude wants to eat. Wants to see his family. But what does he do? He goes to the gym. He meets with Terence Ferguson, who a lot of Thunder fans have completely written off, and he works with them on his shot. Now, I don't know if Russell Westbrook's the best player to be taking shooting advice from, but at the very least, he gave him. Here's the thing, though. I don't know if he showed him form, but this is what he did do. He told him, stop thinking so much about it and just shoot the shot. Just do it. Now, Terence Ferguson said, if you look at his stats over the last few games, let me pull them up really quickly. Whatever it was, the very next game, Russ hit him on a pass. He shot, this was against Washington actually. He shot 3 for 5. Okay, didn't do a lot of threes, didn't do a lot of shooting over the course of the Thunder's wins. I mean, he only scored 6, 2, and 0, but he had 9 points against Washington, and he shot 3 for 5 from 3, which is huge for him in my opinion. Better than Westbrook himself is shooting.
And Paul George.
Yeah. So Russ hits him with a pass, and he said, "I remember what Russ told me. I didn't even think about it. I just put the shot up, and it went in." There are certain players that they're solid shooters, and I don't care what the situation is. If they've got an open shot, shoot it every single time.
Yeah.
Every single time. If they're a decent shooter and you're wide open in the NBA, shoot the dang ball. Don't think about it. I tell some of my players, your job, listen, you're not good at everything out here. You're not that level of player. You're good at shooting the corner three. If you're in the corner and you catch the ball, and that's the one thing you're really good at, you better not even think twice. You better let it fly. Keep shooting. Terence Ferguson shot 3 for 5 from 3. That's exactly what he needs to do if he's wide open, which he will be. When Russell Westbrook and Paul George are on the court, Jeremy Grant's playing well, Steven Adams is a monster in the paint.
Yeah, drawing double teams.
How often is Andre Robertson wide open? The dude thinks
time.
too hard, he lets it fly, and it keeps flying.
That's so perfect.
Okay. Terence Ferguson needs to be able to knock down. Listen, if he can hit 1 or 2 wide open threes a game, I'm happy. Let him keep playing.
No doubt. That's cool. I didn't know that.
So, but yeah, my whole point in all of that is it's cool to see Terence Ferguson making some improvement. But above all, is it time to put to bed the narrative that Russell Westbrook's not a good teammate?
It's been time.
Listen,
long overdue.
Paul George is in Oklahoma City because of one person. Sam Presti. I'm just kidding. It's not Presti. Presti started this, but Russell Westbrook had so much to do with the recruiting process. He had so much to do with the maintaining process. And here he is. And listen, I'm so Paul George is struggling right now, but I love the dude.
Me too.
I'm glad he picked here. He's loyal, and I can appreciate that, and I appreciate him. So I'm going to stand with him. Russell Westbrook's a good teammate. I don't care what anybody says.
Boom.
Roasted. Okay, so last Thunder topic here we're going to cover, the weekly forecast. The Oklahoma City Thunder have 4 games coming up against 2 solid teams, 2 not-so-solid teams. Let's talk about tonight. The Pelicans. If people are even able to watch this before the game, I'll be impressed. If people are tuning in, great. But tonight, the big thing is Anthony Davis. I honestly wish I would have taken the time to look up this stat. I'm pretty sure he averages somewhere over 30 points against the Thunder because he always kills us.
I'd believe that.
But tonight, I'm pretty sure he's playing. I've yet to see. I tried looking at official word.
I've got the yawns all of a sudden. I'm over here.
I was super distracted, but let me see if I can look it up real quick. Regardless, pretty sure he is playing tonight. Okay, he is playing. So with that in mind,
I haven't watched the Pelicans play this season. I will admit.
Let me throw this out there. They started off 4-0. Anthony Davis got injured. He's only played 2 of the last 5. They've lost all 5 games, so they're 4-5. Here's what I'm thinking: they're desperate for a win. That scares me. Anthony Davis is playing. The dude is a scary player anyway, sometimes. But what are your thoughts about the game?
I think I'm feeling good about the Thunder right now, the direction they're trending. And I think they come out continuing as desperate as New Orleans is for a win. I think the Thunder are going to keep this win streak rolling.
I think starting off strong is the key. Don't get behind against a team that really has a lot to play for because they're trying to keep their name alive in the Western Conference.
You can manage that against like the Clippers and stuff, but when you get behind a playoff team, it's really hard to play catch up.
For sure. Moving on to the Cavs on Wednesday. I'll be honest, I'm going to miss this game because I'll be at church, but I'm not even worried about it.
I feel like it would be very much a Thunder thing to do to
beat their second loss of the season.
To beat the Pelicans and then lose to the Cavs. I would not be surprised, but again, like you said, feeling good about this one. How could you not be feeling good about it?
Right.
There's 28 teams more talented than this one in the NBA.
Who would you put below them?
I don't know. That's why I was just trying to cover myself just in case.
No, I mean, I feel like they're arguably the worst team in the NBA right now. They finally picked up their first win. I'm not even sure who it was against. They're trailing the Magic right now, but it's still fairly close in the second quarter. Let me see. Cavaliers, they picked up a win against the Hawks.
Hey,
22-point win against the Hawks.
Wow.
So that's pretty bad. They are the worst team in the NBA right now with a 1-8 record. They're the only one-win team.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't say I'm too worried about that.
What is Houston at, real quick?
Houston
I know we're moving on to that one next.
3-5.
3-5.
Okay.
And where? Sorry.
They're on a 2-game win streak.
Where are the Lakers? I know this is off topic.
The Lakers are 4-6.
4-6. Okay.
Not so great.
I feel like the Thunder, the Lakers, and the Rockets were all like top picks in the West.
They were
for most,
like Rockets, Thunder, Lakers, 2, 3, 4.
None of those teams were in the playoff picture as of now.
No, the Thunder are number 8 right now.
Really?
Yes.
So they moved up. Okay. Because they were still like
ahead of
on the
Utah
outside.
At 4-5, ahead of New Orleans at 4-5, ahead of Minnesota at 4-6. The Western Conference playoff picture looks redonkulous right now.
It's weird.
Like silly. Memphis is in. Sacramento is in. The Clippers are in.
Yeah.
It's strange. Okay.
It will not stay.
And then
that
the
way.
Mavs in Dallas on Saturday. They are tied for worst in the Western Conference.
Listen,
at 2-7.
I've already told you this, but I will say it for all of our viewers to hear. I was driving through Dallas, and I saw the billboard, and it said, "Come support your Mavs. Game ticket, single game ticket starting at $2."
And you're sure it wasn't like $20?
No, I'm positive. And it was like a changeable number that they could like adjust
rotate.
It. Yeah, and it was $2. And
what happens when it drops to like $1.75?
So then I pass another sign, and they were selling 10-game packets for $170 per seat.
That's so much more expensive than $2. Maybe the $2 was like against the terrible teams.
Yeah, of course. Because
the
the other night there were like $12 tickets in the peak. So I'm sure.
I got you.
But $17 a game.
That's pretty wild.
If I could see 10 games for the Thunder for $170, I'd take it
for sure. Jump on that
any
real
day.
Fast, any day of the week. Okay.
So, anyways,
so the next
thought
week,
I'd share that with everyone.
What are you thinking we go with these 4 games?
I'm going to regret this, but I'm going to take 4-0, man.
Listen, I want to say 4-0, but I feel like there's a loss in there somewhere. I know.
You're the homer, but I'm going 4-0.
I feel like there's got to be at least one loss in there just because that's Oklahoma City. So I'm going to say 3-1 just to cover my rear end.
Who's the loss? Here.
I kind of feel like it's going to be the Rockets. Just because they're on a 2-game win streak right now. Harden's back. CP3 is back from a suspension. I really don't. That's the one game. I almost would rather go 1-3 with that being the win than go 3-1 with that being the loss. Almost, not completely.
I just don't want Melo to play well.
I don't think he will. He never plays well in the peak, remember?
It would be totally the thing to happen, though, if he just goes
fair.
off. I mean,
that's fair.
I would not be surprised.
That could totally happen. But you say 4-0, I'm going to say 3-0, and we'll see where we're at on Monday.
Yeah.
Okay. Last thing we want to cover, Bedlam football is on Saturday. I have not even seen the spreads yet. Okay, I just went to the website. I haven't looked at it yet. I'm going to say the Sooners are picked by... I'm going to give the Pokes a little bit credit and say 9.5 points.
Really?
It's probably worse.
I was going to say 12.
I'm going to say 9.5. You're saying 12? Let's skip over to...
You haven't seen it. Are you lying?
I swear I haven't. It's bad, man.
What is it?
18 points.
I don't think I'd take them to cover the spread.
Oh my gosh. I did not think it was going to be that bad, but that's pretty bad. I want to say this is probably one of the more lopsided lines in... I know
recent, for sure.
In the last maybe in the last 10 years. It might have been that bad early in Gundy's tenure, but this is pretty embarrassing. I must be seeing something wrong because this says tickets as low as $6.
There's no way.
I'm clicking on the link and I'm going to give it a look.
Yeah, you're buying 2 of them right now and we're going.
I clicked on 2 and the cheapest ones are 126.
Yeah, that's more like it.
So I'm not seeing where this... Maybe there's a single somewhere in there, and someone typoed, and I'm about to snag it. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to go this game by myself.
This is a game that...
Oh, wait. No, that is low score. I don't know where this $6 ticket is, but
this is a game that OU should should come out and dominate. And I feel like if the Sooners don't put them away early, it could obviously cause some trouble. But I'm trying to be nice, but OU's the far more talented team.
It's not even close to me. It's not even close. The Cowboys have lost 3 of the last 4, and every single one of the losses was a total winnable game. I 100% thought that both teams were going to be undefeated headed into Bedlam. Wrong. Not even close. So, honestly, I'm kind of just hoping that I don't have to watch the second half because OU's blowing them out so badly.
Oh, really?
That's kind of what I feel like is going to happen.
I would love that.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
I would love that.
For real, though, I would love a close game, even if it meant a loss. No moral victories, but I love a good football game. I don't think that's going to happen.
Here's the thing: I don't see anyone stopping the offense for OU. I just don't see it happening again. As much as they've been rolling,
I can see the defensive line stopping some of the run game because Oklahoma State's defensive line is solid.
Yeah,
but the secondary is hot garbage, flaming fire. It's awful. But what does concern me is Kyler Murray's mobility. It's not going to be pretty. So
yeah,
that's kind of where I'm at. I have never been this down on an Oklahoma State football team. I think I've told you that multiple times.
I know, you're kind of bumming me out.
And them's the facts. That's where we're at. So, anyways, I guess we'll just have to see where we're at. Anyways, you got anything else to add?
No, I think that's it, man.
I think that's it for us. We're done. Thank you so much again for watching Facebook Live, for watching the video afterwards on YouTube or Facebook. Hit us up with some comments. Let us know what you think. If you're listening on Crossover Radio with a Purpose, thanks again. But I think that's going to go ahead and do it for us. Until next time, all right, we've got 4 whole games to talk about next week. And anyways, I guess that's it from us. So thunder up, and we will catch you guys on the flippity flip.